Yo, welcome everybody. How's everyone doing today? Johnny here. It's Tuesday morning, 8 a.m., January 6th, 2026. How many of you boys have caught yourself already writing 2025? That shit happens all the time. We have a lot to talk about. We have there's multiple cards going on this weekend. There's two major ones we'll get into. I want to start with before I start there, guys, join our Discord. We're approaching 350 Johnny Says Boxing Insiders. I launched 2 weeks ago our Patreon. So you guys have a few different ways how to support the channel, how to support the community, and how to join the Discord. Join here on YouTube. It's a couple bucks a month. That link is pinned. And in the same link, you could join on Patreon. Same price, couple bucks a month. Whatever one you join on, you get access to the Discord. It's a professional betting Discord. We have boxing, MMA, basketball, football, hockey, baseball's coming up, F1. It's a professional betting community. So whatever one you want to join, if you join the Patreon, you get perks in the Patreon. If you join the YouTube, you get perks on our live stream. Like I said, whatever one you join, same price, access to the Discord. And if you've already joined, I say thank you. If you're new here, I say welcome. I want to start with this interview that's been kind of going viral in the UK with Moses Ituama. We know Moses is preparing for a fight against Jermaine Franklin at the end of the month. So people were, we'll play it to get started. I want to hear your opinion, your take. Some people are saying he's stoned. Some people are saying at his young age he's already showing signs of being punchy, having signs of damage. The odds for the Franklin Ituama fight are crazy. Right now, Moses is a 10-1 favorite. We know how exciting of a prospect he is, not just in the UK, but in the heavyweight international landscape. So I'm going to play that. We'll let, it's from the IFL. I want to hear your opinion on this.
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words,
flipping back to Saudi on a stunning night in Riyadh for yourself against Dillian White. When you saw that, well,
I know you and Dillian are mates.
Yeah. What? Sorry.
I was just saying, I know you and Dillian are mates, and I actually used to watch interviews. There was one interview that you lot done in a car. I think it was in the driver's seat, you was in the passenger. I can't lie, it was funny.
So I've watched this multiple times. My take on it is he kind of seems tired. He kind of seems exhausted. He might, who knows? I don't know him. I don't know his personality. I don't know his lifestyle. I'm not sure what the UK laws and legislation is on medical cannabis. He kind of seems to me maybe a guy who maybe took an edible. Maybe he's, drained. Maybe he's just tired from camp. But the comments on this video are pretty interesting. This is why I wanted to play it. People, some fans are sort of leaning on that maybe, this is just how he operates now at this sort of speed. And if that is the case, that would be quite shocking considering how young he is. Let's continue.
You know what I mean? But I apologise.
Do you know what? It was a bit of a weird week because obviously I am close with Dillian. It's not about kind of whether I'm Team White, Team Ituama, etc. It was nothing to do with that. It's just my friendship with Dillian White.
Yeah, his eyes aren't red, Chris. So I agree with you there.
To kind of see how that played out. I have to be honest, but I think it was nothing to do with obviously your progression as a fighter. It's just to do with my relationship more so with Dillian. Yeah.
Of course, your relationship with Dillian ain't got nothing to do with me. So I was just saying, I know you lot were close. So
I'm having trouble understanding him. I got to be honest with you.
Appreciate the words. What did you think when
it gets a bit testy here? Watch this.
Turkey about he wants to see you and Usyk. What was going through your head?
If the fight happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. You know what I mean? I'm obviously he's got the ability to make it happen, but I don't see the reason why Usyk could take it. So I was like, I haven't been thinking about it. It was just it's all right to hear.
Like I haven't seen. I gotta be transparent with you, UK boys. I haven't seen too much press or too much media of Moses giving interviews. I've seen him post fight, but all the fighters who watch my channel and we know as fighters the adrenaline when you're giving post fight interviews. It's a bit different. Everybody's talking really fast. Everybody's really excited. This I'm talking in the ring. They skip over the words and that sort of thing. But I've never. I don't know too much about Moses in saying, is this sort of how he operates. I'm coming at it from a strength and conditioning perspective, a guy who coaches people for a living. People hire me to keep them and get them healthy. So this is why this video is going viral, because it's people are questioning, hey, and if it's not like, let's say it's not sleep deprivation, because he looks tired. If it's cannabis, I mean, what are the legislations with the BBOC 3 weeks out of a fight? Would he be taking edibles 3 weeks out of a fight? I know, we hear stories all the time, guys going into certain fights on certain substances, but I don't know the ethics or the morality of Moses. I don't know him that well. So maybe in the comments, you guys could let me know. What do you guys think? I'm going to continue playing this. Does Moses look tired? Does he look stoned? Is this a sign of wear and tear at such a young age?
And whatnot. Like, will it actually fulfill itself? That's another question.
I mean, as much as when people were talking about it a lot and saying, is that the right fight for Moses? Is it the right fight for Usyk, etc.? But I mean, we'd watch it obviously, and we'd be very intrigued to see what happened. But you're on like your path, and if it involves Usyk at some point, it does. It doesn't need to be ASAP right now.
Exactly. But Usyk's getting old. So at 38. So I mean, I say he's got to get a move on, but he's been knocking a lot of guys out. So we've got to leave that man alone.
He just seems disinterested to me. Maybe he doesn't like the guy.
Just a couple more before I let you go, Moses. There was an IBF route there with Frank Sanchez.
Or he's like peeping out a girl walking. He seems like he might be staring down a...
Just kind of, make comment on that.
So
he definitely seems disinterested.
With that, it was... So like I said, I don't know whether it was Frank Sanchez or whether it's F.A. Jagba, one of the two, I can't remember. But when I said, like, they put forward, like, 10 names, it's like, I think Frank Sanchez or F.A. Jagba, there was one of them 10 names. And then my team in the process of elimination got it down to 3. It was like we looked at that fight and we just thought, like, obviously it was a title eliminator for or whatnot. But when it's against me and I beat him, it's like, all right, he was old, he's washed up. You know what I mean?
I don't know what
I'm going to play one more minute.
The comments you're reading, but I don't see that. I'm sorry.
I mean, so it's like, especially that people have to say.
He's talking about getting rid of his social media now.
Dillian White out in the first round. I was like, oh no, Dillian White wasn't that age and hasn't been in the ring for this long. And do you know what I mean? It was like, I have to mention that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, you could knock Usyk out and there'll be people out there going, well, Usyk's 38, 39, etc., etc.
Look, I'm going to play one more minute of this, and it's what he's about to say here. He's going to talk about his critics. He's going to talk about reading comments on social media. He's going to talk about deleting his Instagram. And I found that quite kind of eye-opening as well. We have to remember, these are young dudes. He's only in his early 20s. It's a totally different generation. I couldn't imagine what it would be like being 21, a professional athlete, a professional fighter, in your 20s, having to deal with, all of the noise from social media. At 40, I'll be 44 in 3 months. Growing up playing sports, playing college sports, we didn't have to deal with social media. It is a distraction. It's interesting though to hear his take on this. You see some fighters who are switched on, they're locked in, they don't even talk about the social media side of things. And then some, it affects them. And I want to hear your take on this in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this next bit of Moses. Do you think he's distracted going into the Franklin fight at the end of the month? Or do you think he's switched on?
But that's part of it, isn't it? Come on. Like, I haven't seen too many like negative people kind of downplay that win against Dillian White, and they shouldn't either.
I mean, I've chosen to no longer look at the comments anyway. I've been contemplating deleting Instagram.
Really? Really?
Yeah. It's just like the people that I need to talk to have my number. Do you know what I mean? So if you don't have my number, I don't think I need to talk to you. What's that? The one that is it? Who's that guy that plays Spider-Man? Is that if you got a problem, call me. If you don't have my number, then you don't know me enough to have a problem with me.
Yeah, I remember that quote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Watch this.
Yeah, I do remember that quote.
You're not convincing me.
Look at Moses checking
I
him.
remember that quote. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You're not
That's
convincing
not how I
me.
talk, Moses. Listen, my heritage or where I'm
No. Where you grew up?
Essex.
Essex.
Born in Essex, yeah.
Whereabouts?
I was born in Chelmsford.
I'll stop it here.
What?
Yeah, so I just wanted to start there. You know, I got that video sent to me. I woke up this morning, like 5 different people on my Instagram sent it to me. They wanted me to know. They wanted my opinion on it. For me, he just looks like a guy who's tired. God damn, he's in fight camp. You know what I'm saying? Traveling, fight camp, exhaustion. He's at the back 9 of a fight camp. You know what I'm saying? So he just looks tired to me. He definitely looks disinterested. I don't know if he has to cut weight, being a heavyweight. But, you know, I've been interviewing UFC fighters and boxers for over a decade. And I know personally from my end of things not to, even guys I have a friendship with who are pro fighters, not to contact them or not to reach out to them for any sort of interviews during a fight camp. Some like to do it, some don't. I don't know Moses' temperament. I don't really know a lot about him outside of the ring. I know he's a stellar athlete, one of the top prospects, contenders. Looks to me, you know, obviously hot shotted for a world title soon. So all in all, he ticks all the boxes for me as a fighter. Just wanted to start there, just considering everybody reaching out to me on the Patreon, people messaging me on Instagram. So that's that. In the comment section below, let me know what you think. I don't think it's CTE. To put an exclamation point on this before we get into our bets and the boxing odds. I don't think it's CTE. He doesn't look like brain damage to me. When you're dealing with a guy who's sort of punchy or been through a lot of wars, you get this gloss over look in your eyes. It's unmistakable. When you see it once, you look for it. And I'm not going to put any fighters on blast, but there's guys that you guys watch, we watch on TV who are analysts, guys who pop in, still in the public's eye, who are former world champions in like the era before us, guys who fought with Floyd, guys who fought in the early 2000s. When you see them talk, you could tell what Punchy looks like. You could tell what it sounds like. This to me seems like a cool, calm, and collective killer. He seems like an assassin. He seems like he knows what the job is in a few weeks. And that's just my take on it. Anybody who's sort of marketing this as brain damage, CTE, I think they're probably doing it for clicks. He looks locked into me. He looks also a little bit playful at the very end. He's kind of picking on this interviewer a bit, and I think he's doing that in sort of a playful way. But in the ring, Moses Ituama is anything but playful. If you haven't seen this guy fight, definitely tune in. He's fighting Jermaine Franklin at the end of the month on the 26th. He's a 10-1 favorite, and you know, all in all, that's my take on that. Moving forward, boys, I'm going to say what's up to the boys. All right, where are we at? PTSD. So let's pull up some of the odds. I'm going to just, sent from Pet. He may be wiser than average, but in these times, someone who's wiser than average already looks unique, and that's a bad thing. Yeah, what Chris said here. Take the house loan out on this. Take a loan out. Don't pick them to lose. Dude, this isn't a popular opinion because every time I bring it up, I never get co-signed on it, and I'm not looking for a co-sign. The fight I want to see is Moses versus Justice. That's the fight I want to see. If I'm going to be a full believer of Moses Ituama and, jump on, because I'm very hesitant to jump on the UK hype trains of any fighter. And, I love British boxing. Even when I was hosting MMA betting shows, you guys could find them on Instagram. You could pull up my old interviews of when this channel was just MMA. It wasn't called this. I had like 500 subscribers, and it was just me interviewing like Carlos Condon, Matt Brown, Stipe Miocic, Hoist Gracie, people would always, you know, bring up and ask sort of what is my favorite sort of fights to watch. I'd always say I like watching British boxing. I like domestic level British titles. I like when they pack out like a little York Hall and there's only, maybe 1,000 people in there. I like watching, when they bring the fights to Sheffield, they bring the fights to Manchester. My point is, when I see Brits though being propped up on the international level and a product is being sold to us by Eddie Hearn specifically, or even our boy Frank, I'm not saying I don't believe them, but I'm not quick to jump on the bandwagon until it's proven to me. So even with all these knockouts and how Moses has looked, I'm still not jumping on that high elite all-time great world champion bandwagon. I want to see what he looks like against Justice Huni. I don't know if that fight will ever happen. I think Justice is a great matchup for him, and I think Justice Huni is legit. The one question is the chin. You know what I'm saying? But from a boxing pure, how he boxes how big he is, Justice Huni is a joy to watch. Moses is. I'd love to see those two guys fight. Why you want to see your boy? I just want to see how Moses. I want to see that as a litmus test. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Justice, and who knows, Justice. What if Justice just swiped all of that momentum that Moses had? Johnny, would you say Agit Kaybayel also needs a Justice Huni type of fighter? Yes. Agit Kaybayel is a guy, nobody was really saying it. I mean, he's coming off, 2 or 3 fights, which he was an underdog. Riyadh season, he's kind of, just broken through. But he's another one that, dude, Kaniba, I'm not saying, Kaniba, 6'7", undefeated, has some pop. We'll see. I think 9-1 odds for Kaniba being a dog is pretty wild. Completely agree, and I know exactly what you're saying. Man, he's so quiet because he doesn't want to stand out in that social way. He already does as a boxer for his capability. Yeah. I see what the boys are saying. Huni is punchy. Punchy or chinny? Because we've seen him dropped against, he was dropped in the fight before he fought Fabio, and we know how the Fabio. I don't know if he was dropped. Who's the big? He was up. The fight was playing exactly how it played out against Fabio. It's just the fight before. His name's slipping my mind. He got wobbled in the 11th or 12th. I don't think he got dropped. And then obviously against Worley, he gets caught and he gets dropped, and the ref gave it a 4 count. To this day, that count was atrocious. To this day, that referee in the UK was horrible. When you compare side by side the Justice Huni versus Fabio Worley count in the 11th versus side by side the Emmanuel Navarrete Liam Wilson count, oh my God, it's like it's ridiculous. Navarrete had 27 seconds against Liam Wilson to recover. Literally, I didn't just pick that. I've done this with a clock before on a screen. The video ended up getting taken down for copyright like 3 years ago. But we've done this on my channel before. 27 seconds, the Navarrete knockdown before, from the time he hits the canvas to the ref allowing it to go on. 27 seconds. Justice Huni, Fabio, it was like literally maybe 7 seconds. And then they call it. It was horrible. Kevin Lorena, that's what it was. Yeah, watch the Kevin Lorena. I think it was round 11. Justice is dominating just like that. Lorena needs a knockout. And Justice did exactly what he did against. He played the game with him. He put himself in a dangerous position and got caught. He didn't get dropped though. Agit has been impressive, but he almost got stopped by a Croatian a few years back. I'm guys, with all these heavyweights, I'm very cautious. They're just quick to jump to the front of the line. Yay! We have a new heavyweight undefeated knockout. I'm like, growing up in the game, I see an undefeated heavyweight, and I'm like this. I got the suspect eyes. I'm like, shoot. We gonna see if he legit. Fraud checks in the heavyweight division. This is a real thing. Santiago versus Cedeno will be a good one this weekend. I'm not getting odds on it, but it will be. Lorena had Hooney nearly finish a couple times that fight. How he didn't stop him. See, this is why people saying Hooney is chinny. Hooney got one of them Easter Island heads too, boy. He's a big boy. Everything about Justice is massive. That's why when like if you ever meet Justice or see him, in the gym, hitting pads or just meeting him, you will be and then you take that what you see in person with how he boxes, light on his feet, and you'd be shocked. You'd be like, "Holy shit, dude. This dude is like high level athlete." So maybe I'm just impressed with his athleticism. Me being an athlete, coaching athletes, whenever I see a guy who's 6'4", 6'5", massive dude, I have massive hands. His hands are big, dude. He's just and then being on his toes, slick in it. Justice Hooney, people sleep on him. I'm a fan, dude. He's one of my favorite heavyweights. You don't see many heavyweights who operate like that. Moses will be moved accordingly as the AJ of Queensberry. In a good world, Frank will have every heavyweight champion with a different belt and unify with the likes of Turkey, assuming Usyk retires. Not a bad point there. Hooney has a lot of miles. Hooney's 26 years old. What are you talking about? Hooney's almost 20 years younger than me. Don't a lot of 10-rounders. Even our Kiwi took him to war. Oh, you're saying just round? See, you would say miles. I'd say ring experience. Yeah, he likes going to war. Duh, you know what I'm talking about. Terramona. He needs to move a bit. I mean, I'm tired of seeing him paired up with guys that he's like a plus 20, like a plus what? No, a plus 2,000, minus 2,000s, minus 3,000. Like, what are we talking? Can we get a 50-50 fight out here? But the thing is with Terramona, is there such thing right now at his progression as a 50-50 fight? So I understand it. He's young, just he just turned over. They need to get him pro fights. They need to get him rounds. But what good is it when you take a guy like that and you pair him up with a guy who's a plus 2,000 and he knocks him out in the first round? You're not learning anything. You're not getting rounds in. So, it's an interesting one. Hooney versus Parker down under. Let's go. Down under. That'd be a great dude. I would be right there if that fight ever goes down. Terramona gonna be promised for most people. He is now. He's mean too. Long, power, mean. He moves. He's actually tricky. He got some class to him. I'm betting big on Navarrete to win against Nunes. I can't wait for that fight. Fingers crossed they both go into the fight healthy. Sugar Nunes, he's definitely going to be undersized. Navarrete, we know with Navarrete, every time Navarrete fights, we're going to see something. We're going to see a head clash. We're going to see elbows. We're going to see low blows. We're going to see something. There's always some sort of, lack of better terms, fuckery that goes on in Navarrete fights. I'm here for it. Vaquero! Hooney Parker, who you got? Hey, I don't do fantasy fights, big dog. I don't do predictions on fights that aren't official. Terramona was sleeping everyone in the amateurs. He got big power. He should have beat Jalalev in the Olympics. Yeah. Yeah, the footage of you don't see many guys in the Olympics cracking heads like he does. James, what's crack? I'll be there right in my backyard. Me too, big dog. Mike Tyler, my guy. What's up, playa? Chris says you build up your record to get cash out yourself one day. That's what all these easy. Yeah, you have to move a certain way. They get a guy to go 10-0 finally. Exactly. And this is Chris is a fighter. This is the operation of a fight career. And this is why on a recent live stream I was explaining the difference in how the UFC moves their prospects versus how boxing moves their prospects. And the UFC, because of its monopoly setting, by the time you make it to the UFC, even if you're a 21-year-old Yair Rodriguez, you've already made it. So a lot of times they won't give you easy fight. There aren't a lot of gimmies, layups in the UFC. So I always bring up, it's actually a bad thing, for my opinion, for up-and-coming prospects, contenders, young guys like Yair Rodriguez when they pair Yair Rodriguez with Frankie Edgar. And it happens all the time. And this is something that Dana White, he doesn't take care of his prospects. He doesn't take care of his veterans. The UFC is a fucking blender. The youth eats the old in the UFC, but sometimes every now and then that goes the other way. You can see the old eat the youth when Frankie absolutely destroyed Yair, a fight that never should have even been made, considering Yair's trajectory, where he already was, already selling out arenas in Mexico, a beautiful striker. And Dana's like, you know what, big homie? I don't like what you said in one of our meetings. I'm going to pair you up with a double champ grappling wrestling nightmare cardio machine named Frankie Edgar. And I know you struggle with grappling. Here you go. And Frankie Edgar beat the fucking piss out of Yair. And Yair was, in my opinion, I don't think we ever got to see the best Yair because of that ass beating. And he had taken a couple years off of that a couple different times. And I blame that on the system. So I say all of that to say this: Terramona, all boxers come at whenever they turn over, they have to get moved in a certain way. Is the outcome obviously one day to cash out or make money? Of course. This is a blood sport. People die. The outcome will always be to make money. But along that journey as fans, you just have to expect a lot of favorable matchups as they're climbing the ranks. It just kind of gets weird a little bit when the marketing behind a guy with, not a lot of pro fights, with, zero 50-50 fights, is being sold to us as the consumer as the next in line. But it's like, bro, he hasn't even been tested. You're forcing our hand as the fan here now to believe what you're selling us. And we've seen time and time again that goddamn product was a freaking lie. And so partially why I'm hesitant on Dalton Smith. It's all fucking connected. It's all connected. No, I live in Sydney. I'm in Australia. I'd love to see back-to-back cards full of heavyweights, or at least 3 of them. A heavyweight card would be dope. An international heavyweight card would be dope. We saw that a while ago, didn't we? Agit Kaybayel, TKO, Subriel money line. I like it. I like the issue. I love the Matias money line. I'll pull the odds up in a second. We're getting him at what, $1.72 right now, which is great on its own. 72% return on a bet, depending on your unit. Great as a parlay piece. But Agit Kaybayel to win by knockout against Kaniba is only $1.40, I think. Maybe even crashing, maybe lower than that. I'll pull the odds up. I generally don't like to play knockouts if it's below $1.70. You have your instances, you have your rare examples where I will, but generally, Kaniba, he's a guy. Johnny, what's your thoughts about guys like Ryo and joining Zuva Boxing? Do you think it'll become something good? I think all competition is good for everything. We talked about this last week on the stream. I think in any measurement, in any part of the world, in any form of business, competition is good. So I live my life the law of abundance. Anybody who's saying that a new boxing league is bad for boxing, they're coming at it from a scarcity perspective. Competition is good. You know what I'm saying? So where it gets kind of shady is when, Zuffa has been kind of on record. People have been kind of saying with Turkey is they're going to have their own belt. They're not going to recognize the other promotional companies. And then you start, then what that creates is a wall and division. As long as everything's open, we just want to see the best fight the best. I think, in more organizations give more fighters like Ryo more opportunities to make money. We want to see these guys succeed. We want to see them fight the best. Think about, you guys could probably off the top of your head name me 3 or 4 of your favorite fighters. We just haven't seen fight because there aren't any fights. There aren't, promotional companies. It's harder and harder to make these small cards when you have such massive promotions like Netflix or DAZN having these big cards. It's kind of like, I think what we're starting to see is a decay of the very necessary club level cards, because like we talked about how you move a prospect. Those club level small promotion cards are very important. So these guys can get rounds in, so these guys could get professional experience. If all we have are the big ones like Zuffa and DAZN and Ring, and then you're creating sort of a bottleneck just for that higher tier of competition. And I think over time, what that'll create, that becomes a detrimental to the maturation of the sport itself, because guys who are trying to come up and trying to get opportunities, there's only so many spots. So whenever there's a new promotion that hits the streets, I'm for it. Is it fair to say Kaneba could be on the same level? Adam Kanaki has some pub. Remember, he had a little bit of snap to him. People were on it. People thought it could be a bro. I like Pro Box. Kyle, what's your take on Pro Box? I'm a fan of Pro Box. I like all their cards. All right, guys, we're going to take a look at the odds real quick. While we're here up in this motherfucker. All right, this is the Javier Herrera fight versus Ricardo Nunes. These odds are pretty wild, man. We're going to look at these odds. We're not getting method of victory, but I'm also going to bring up each guy's box rec to have a look, because like at least 10 of you boys messaged me in our Patreon and messaged me in our Discord about this fight. So let's look at Javier first. And the boxing fandom gets excited whenever you see a 23-year-old fighter with a record of 17-0 with 15 knockouts, right? 135-pounder with a 92% knockout and 88% knockout to win ratio. Fighting at 135. Javier Herrera, not many people putting their hand up to fight this guy. Lives in Dubai. He's Cuban. We know that. 5'9" southpaw. Mate, for me, marketability, if you've never seen him fight, he ticks all the boxes. I think he's been moved all right, but he has to take a jump soon enough. Is this the jump? Jose Enriquez, 21-3. Oliver Flores, 31-5. He's been moved all right. Winning record. People are high on him. So this Herrera fight goes down in Germany. This is on the undercard of the Kaneba fight. So let's look at this is Ricardo Nunes, 26-7, 22 knockouts. So guys, we're getting treated to a fight at 135 with two guys with one with an 85% career knockout to win ratio, the other one with an 88%. One guy 17 pro fights, another guy over 30. Nunes has been stopped, lost 7 times, been stopped 3 times. Cuba versus Panama and Germany. Let's go. Coming off an L. Nunes down in round 2. Nunes caused the 3rd round large cut on Fernandez's ear. Oh yeah, we won money on this. I hit on this fight, this John Fernandez fight. I got Fernandez by stoppage at $1.90. He's already time freaking flies, boys. I can't believe that John Fernandez fight was in June. July, August, September, October, November, December. 7 months ago is freaking ridiculous. We cover so many fights on the channel. That John Fur fight, I thought was like, it seems like John Fur fought like 2 months ago. So he's coming off a loss. Yeah, this seems like this is easy money. He gets to fight a guy with a lot of knockouts. He gets to fight a guy who will punch back. He gets to fight a guy with over 30 pro fights. I don't mind the way they're moving Javier. But I'm definitely not betting this if all I could get is that. And the odds, and that's all they're giving us. Yeah, that's all they're giving us. That's my take on that. It's only Tuesday morning here in Australia. It's Monday in the States. So by the weekend, we'll be getting props and we'll have a look at it. Now let's have a look at the Kaniba odds. Okay, so this is Agit versus Kaniba. Another one of these fights where, look, at the end of the day, man, it's really tough for me to bet on a knockout when you're getting $1.36. We have to ask ourselves, though, guys, this is important. What sort of gambler are you, right? Because in our Discord, if you guys aren't part of the Discord, join it. It's a couple bucks a month. It's a Pro Bettors Discord. The link is pinned here in the comment section. You can either join the Discord through our YouTubes or join the Discord through our Patreon. Why I'm saying this is there isn't just one type of bettor. There isn't just one type of gambler. Without judging people, there's guys in our Discord who expect everybody to bet how they bet. There's guys in our Discord who judge and try to clown people for how they bet. That's a very immature perspective. I could put people on blast because there's a couple dudes who really annoy me in my Discord that I don't even comment to, but they prop themselves up as being sort of like experts in specific fields. I just let them be. When you're as old as me, you learn to remove your ego. That's the best advice I could give to anybody who's struggling with a friend, a partner, struggling with people at work is remove the expectation from how you feel people should treat you and just go get your shit done. Just do your job, right? Get your work in, put the work in. But you have to ask yourself, how do you bet? How do you gamble? For me, I like, obviously, from my perspective, I don't want to get, my job is to always give you guys winners. So who is going to win the fight, right? Now, certain guys who call themselves sharps will call me certain names. Why would you even bet that fight? Why would you even bet? The odds are so terrible. Why would you? Bitch, I'm on a platform where I'm telling people who's going to win or lose. So for you to publicly comment in my fucking Discord and challenge why would I bet this fight and try to sort of insinuate that you're at a hierarchy better because you only bet good odd fights, fuck you. So shout out to Oscar De La Hoya. Dude, when Oscar was doing all the Canelo shit, hey, Canelo, fuck you. So shout out to Oscar for the fuck you shout out. But my point is, from my perspective, I run a goddamn boxing forum, right? We cover all the fights. I'm not just going to look at a fight like Agit and Kaniba and say, oh, the odds are shit. I'm not going to give you a winner. Because the odds are shit, I'm not going to tell you who's going to win. No, I'm going to... But you do have to ask yourself. So what I have to do is cover all my bases. Who's going to win the fight? And then value betting. There are guys, what the value is for the bet. Kaybayel at $1.36, there isn't value to pick him to win by knockout, right? All the money is on. That's where the popular money. That's not smart money. That's all the popular money is legit to win by knockout. I mean, Damian Kaniba is a real dude, man. Maybe fight go the distance, maybe the over at $1.83. When we get, and this is where now we're looking at value betting, and that's where the value is going to be on this fight. $1.35 to win by knockout, and if he hits, like this is the thing in boxing forums. If you take a Jit to win by knockout at $1.35 and then he win and then it hits, don't share the ticket and call yourself the best in the world. If you're taking a $1.10 guy, if you're taking like three guys at minus 900 and they all hit on a 3-leg parlay that gets you 28% back, don't say you're fucking the man. You know what I'm saying? But you did win. That's where I'm trying to educate people on the fact of there is a thing called value betting. Now the value, it's probably going to be something along the lines of the over, under. This is where you have to get real sort of tricky and sexy with how you're seeing this matchup. They are heavyweights. Both guys knock people out. That's why the over-under is $1.83 both ways. So if you get the over-under right, you should be more like that. That's something more to brag about than picking a Jit at knockout at $1.35. You see what I'm saying? Because you increased your value, you increased the risk, but you got your money right. And now your money's right. Now your mind's right. That's a little bit of free game for that ass. Where are we at now? All right, we're going to move on now. And we're going to be talking about this fight all week, guys. We're going to be talking about this fight all week. Wherever you are in the world, like this video, subscribe, do all that fun shit. Get in the Discord, support me on Patreon. If you support me on Patreon, if you support me, become a YouTube member here to get a star and more accessibility. Whatever one you do, it's the same price. And you get access to our Discord. We're approaching 350 JSB insiders. Getting exciting out this mug. All right, now let's have a look at Dalton versus Subriel, the current odds. Guys, right now we only have 3 fights that are showing. This is Bet365. By the weekend or by Friday at least, this will open up. We're going to have a lot by the weekend. These are the main ones. We talked about Javier versus Nunes. Nunes is a guy we just saw get stopped against John Fur. We up. Herrera, the odds on the money line, we're going to wait until the props open up. We just covered Agit versus Kaniba. Let's look at Subriel versus Dalton. Now, this is one of these fights, Subriel versus Dalton, where there is value on money line both ways. And there's a real possibility either guy could win. So with these fights, when you're getting Subriel at $1.61 money line or Dalton at 230, you don't have to get too tricky. You don't have to get too sexy. You don't have to get too cute. Depending on what your unit is, if you have a heavy unit, you're betting your bankroll is nice. A 61% return on Subriel on the money line, that's all you really need to do. You know what I'm saying? But if your bankroll isn't that nice and you're just more of a entertainment sort of better, for instance, guys, this past weekend, the MVP card. I talked about this all last week leading up to the MVP card. It's why I didn't do any stats don't lie videos on any of the fights, is that I said that that's a half unit fight card for me. I'm going to bet a half unit on those just so I could stay connected with boxing. I wasn't excited about any of those fights. I didn't break down a stats don't lie video for any of those fights. And it was at every time there's an MVP card, unless there's a big sort of like featured fight, it's always half unit for me. So if I win, it's fun. If I lose, it's still fun, right? I'm still giving you my honest opinion. Sometimes we get it right. Sometimes we get it wrong. MVP cards for me, half unit fight, right? There's a lot of fun. Whenever Jake Paul is connected to any boxing, if I'm going to watch the fights, it'll be a half unit just to stay connected. I wanted to see a couple prospects. It was good to see Rosado fight. She's a fun prospect. She looked real good. I'm a fan of Rosado and her style. And even watching Tejas showed me some good things against Amanda. And so other than that, the reason why I'm saying that is whatever unit of measurement you have, however big your bankroll is, if 61%, and we're just using this as an example because of all the fights we've covered so far today, these odds are the best on the money line. If your unit's $10 and you're not stoked about getting $6 in return, and you're betting trying to get some crazy, then you would then go, all right, you're an odds better then, I guess. Maybe there's a lack of better terms. Maybe there's a better term for it. But if you're a guy who doesn't have a big bankroll and losing $1,000 would fucking ruin you, or maybe you don't even have $1,000 in your account, then you're betting like $10. Then you have to get a bit riskier with what you're doing. You have to get a bit riskier with how you operate. For me, with my bankroll, the money line here is perfect for me. Like, this is my money line bet. I'm loving a 61% return on just a win, no matter what happens. Or if I'm a Dalton guy, you're getting plus 130. You see what I'm saying? So you guys have to make that choice is up to you guys. The better. Also, if you don't have a bankroll, don't bet. If you're not having fun, don't bet. You're not going to get rich betting. Vegas isn't Vegas because people win. This is for the love of the game. You come to my channel for the love of the game. Boxing, baby. What up, Johnny? I'm already checking out the Pro Box fight card. They do got some. Magic Kush is my guy. They got some good fights up there. All the boys are tapping in. OG King of Fitness. King says, what's up, Johnny? I agree under 8.5. Let's not complicate things. We made the mistake with Boots and Virgil. Oh, yeah. Boots and Virgil, 1 round and we out. Dude, please let that fight happen, though. Obviously, we're talking about Virgil and Eric, and then Boots with the other kid he got out of there early. His name Lima, Usama Lima. Yeah, that over, and I hit my biggest win last. My biggest win on the Riyadh card with Nakatani and Inoue is doing this style. I hit, and I told the boys to take the overs. So, we hit over 8.5 and over 5.5. And that paid really, really good money on both the Inoue and Nakatani fights. And I parlayed both. So I made a killing on those two fights. Now, the heavyweights, when you're thinking about heavyweights who have a high knockout to win ratios, it's always going to be stressful no matter which way you cut it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be stressing out if you're taking the under. You're going to be stressing out if you're taking the over. It just comes down to your read, what you see, where you are. Are you up? Are you chasing? Also, fight betting strategies change if you're chasing. If you're chasing, I'm the type of guy, I don't chase, but if I ever would, I'm going like a quarter unit to chase. I lived in Vegas for 2 years. I had a roommate that I had to kick out because he was a freaking degenerate gambler. I'm talking, I can tell you horror stories how big of a degenerate this kid was. So I know what it's like. The last thing you want to do is chase and you're borrowing money. A chase for me is like, all right, I lost my first parlay doing a half unit. There's still 2 fights left on this card. I'm going to do a quarter unit just so I can get action and juice to stay tuned for the next 2 fights. A chase for me is not, I just lost $1,000. I need to make $5,000. That's fucking stupid. Don't bet that way. You're a moron if you do that. No offense. You're still my friend. I'm friends with a lot of morons. Not really. Used to be. We have to evolve, boys. Let's go. I don't think Kaniva better than Big Bang Zhang. I don't think. Styles. Think about that, Styles. Hey, Johnny. I don't see the Polish guy winning at all, and it didn't make sense to me why Tommy thinks a 5,000 favorite against the guy that I'm not. Don't take my betting perspective wrong. Look, Chris, you're kind of new to our Discord. You're an OG to my channel. I think, Chris, you came to the Discord like a month ago, right? And you're a beast. But over the last 6 months, what I do in the Discord is I share information that comes to me from guys like Paulie, guys like Tommy. I have friends who are journalists, and when they send me, because I talk to, my whole day's voice memoing and messages, and I live this shit 24/7. So when a guy like, if I get some, I just share it in our group. So I don't look too into that. It's just you're getting an insight into how what he's seeing. Matias said recently, Dalton wins, he's gonna need to send Matias to the hot. Matias said recently, if Dalton wins, of course, dude. Subriel Matias is a sword guy. SWORD, a sword guy. Where I was coming up is a guy that you're gonna have to take your sword to him. Subriel's a sword guy. He's seen it both sides. You tell this dude, this kid has been on the other end of a dude passing away in one of his fights. So he knows that could happen to him. That's a sword mindset. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Subriel Matias took a guy out, dude. Rest in peace. Maxim Dadashev. He died, man. He was a fucking good prospect too. Had Buddy McGirt in his corner. That was tough to watch, man. I think it was the 11th round, but during the 9th round, Buddy McGirt's yelling at Max, asking him to stop the fight. And like Buddy knew, like he was fighting for his family, and he knew what a loss would derail the trajectory of what he had built. So he kept fighting. Shit bums me out, man. It's why I don't let dudes talk shit about fighters, and I'll call somebody out if they're calling fighters bums and shit. People die in this sport, man. People need to have some respect. I don't think Dalton is something Matias has. I think Dalton is. I'm not impressed with Dalton. You were hot on Holmes and lost. Yeah, of course, nobody's ahead it. I took Han. Damn it, Bobsy. Yeah, it was the MVP card. My saving grace was I didn't go into it betting. But those are over time. You guys, I'm sure you have your own rules about how you bet. Some guys don't like betting. Like for me, I don't like betting domestic heavyweights. I don't like betting domestically a lot, actually, believe it or not. I don't like betting MVP cards. I have my no bet list. Yankee Rivera is definitely on my no bet list. Albert Gaziev is on my no bet list. You get my point. I'm just bro. We appreciate you. I'm just speaking my mind from my own perspective. I'm a critical judge of the top 10% of fighters. I've been betting on fights. Yeah, no. I respect that, brother. What Chris's comment is here is a direct example of our group. We don't run echo chambers. There's nobody in this group would ever let me just talk shit if they think I'm wrong. Don't. Now, there's certain times you might agree with me, but I respect whoever agrees with me, but I also respect you if you disagree with me, especially if you have an educated perspective. I'm not married to any of my ideas either. It's not like I'm going to stand on a hill and blah blah blah. Like, no, this is part of, kind of my church a little bit. I'm out here learning. Bob C. Matias is coming to give it. Oh, it's I really like the New York crowd. I like the Puerto Rican crowd. I like the fact that for Subriel, I like the fact that Dalton has to travel. I like the fact that Subriel's the A side. I don't think Dalton has ever fought a style like Matias's before. I don't. Whenever you fight Subriel Matias, you can focus and you can harp on the holes in his defense and how he gets hit a lot and how that style doesn't age well, but it's aging well enough for me. God damn it. I've seen him level up since the loss to Liam. I thought that was it. Just even the fact that he was able to get his belt back to me is pretty crazy. Did I have him losing to Puello? I did. I had Alberto Puello up slightly. I thought Alberto Puello won by 2 rounds. Got to be honest with you. Alberto Puello uses the entire ring. He's a southpaw. He's long. He's slick. He's real good. He's been in there with some really, really good guys. Dalton Smith hasn't. Dalton Smith, athletic, uses his angles, doesn't really fight from his toes. Not a one-punch knockout guy. He does counter. He's a good counter boxer. I just don't. I don't have trust. I don't have trust in the Brit. That's what it's going to come down to as well with my money. A British kid who's never been tested at the world level, who I feel has been oversold to us by his promotional company, coming off of a performance which I wasn't impressed with, going to the States, fighting in New York, fighting in Brooklyn against a world champion like Matias. That stressful style on the front foot, volume, pace, output. What is Dalton's path to victory? How is he going to negate the pressure and pace? Because Dalton, unless Dalton goes out and boxes the ears off of Subriel and wins a clear decision, you got to remember the politics of boxing. He's not coming. Dalton Smith isn't coming to New York in winning a close decision. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. Do you know who's promoting this fight, too? Did you check who the promoters are for this fight, boys? Subriel Matias, most punches thrown is the best stat at Bet365. Let's see it. Ali, Points TV, my guy, always coming through with the props. Let's see it. I'm not seeing it. Am I tripping? Where are you seeing those props at? Bet365. Am I missing something? Single game. I'm just getting money line. I'm getting method of victory. I'm getting will the fight go the distance. And I'm getting total rounds over under. Ali, where you at? Are you in Australia? I'm not seeing it. Showtime, Money Meach. I don't think Dalton would be a coward to be running around either if it happens. Clinches. Oh, yeah. Come on, baby boo. Salute. Salute. I think the fight goes the distance. I think Matias is fading that style. Doesn't age well. True. but I'm sticking to my guns. No improving UK fighters, just the distance for that fight and over. Yeah. Yeah, if I had to pick a winner, I'm leaning Subriel. If I had to pick over-under, I'm leaning the over. Maybe a knockdown prop. I wouldn't be against a knockdown prop. We have to see those things open up. Is any fighters that will fight this month on your no-bet list? I have to look. I think Matias, after winning against Puello, is even more danger for Dalton. So many things. I agree, Pet. Yeah, Fresh Productions. Like, what is that? Is that weird to anybody? Like, Fresh Productions is promoting this fight? Juan Ivan Arango. Could somebody educate me on Juan Arango? Does anybody know who this is? So this is the fight card in Brooklyn. Promoter Juan Ivan Arango, Fresh Productions. Here's the whole fight card. Dude, that Nestor Bravo versus Campa fight is a fucking fight, boys. Keith Colon versus Guevara. But that Nestor Bravo fight versus Pedro Campa, that's a fun fight. I want to see odds on that one. We're not getting them yet. Javier Cintron versus Rodriguez. Bro, look at those records. This is a fun card, boys. Santiago versus Cedeno. This is a fun card, boys. Inseni, and now we're getting in a bit of the weeds. That just excited me a bit more. I didn't realize that Nestor was on that fight card. I actually didn't even know that Cedeno. That's a fun card. And that's what I'm saying. So guys, Fresh Productions. Listen to my boy J Ron. Subriel's promoter. So when we're thinking about the politics of boxing, when we're thinking about where our money's going, we could do the tactical breakdowns. We could do our film study, which I know we all do. And if you don't do it, it's why you watch the channel, because you know I'm going to be doing it. But you also have to take into consideration things like this. Where is the fight taking place? Brooklyn. Who's the champion? Subriel. What sort of crowd is that going to be? Barikwa. Who's the promoter? Subriel's promoter. Where does Dalton live? The UK. Has he ever fought in the States before? Hell nah. Like, all of these things. Dalton's going to have to come into New York and be like, New York, city of dreams, and everything in New York ain't always what it seems. You might get fooled if you come from out of town, but I'm down by law, and I'm from the dog pound, the incredible, the lyrical. To see me is going to take a miracle. He's going to have to be dropping his dog food album swag and stop Matias. He's going to have to stop. I think he's going to have to stop Matias to get a victory. Am I tripping on that? Yeah, what was? Do you know what the drama was? Were they just trying to freeze my man out? Bob C, you're in the Discord. Bob C, did you listen to the voice note I sent from Tommy Ranone? Tommy's a buddy of mine. He has a show on YouTube with Paulie Malignaggi. They've both come on my channel in the past. He's saying that Kaniba, he's saying those odds are freaking insane. That they shouldn't be that wide. Kyle. Eddie Hearn is his promoter too. Eddie is promoting. Is he back? He's not backing Subaru again, is he? Eddie's shady like that. You Eddie, or he's Dalton's guy, right? Obviously, that makes more sense. My thing with Eddie is you lose one fight and he just fires you. Yeah, he's Dalton. That's what I thought. It gets kind of confusing a little bit lately with Eddie Hearn and how he moves. Sometimes. What's sent from Pet saying? on that Pro Box card that's coming. I hope they get Suleiman high because his record. Yeah. Guys, stay tuned.